On parental guidance, guides bring together your favorite products, tips, reviews, experts, and ideas and put them all in one place, and they're a lot easier to create than you might think. The easiest way to make a guide on parental guidance is to start with a piece of content that's already on the site. So I'm going to create a guide on motion sickness because that's something that we are currently struggling with. So when I type in motion sickness, I'm given this guide written by one of our experts. And if I open her guide up, the first thing I'm given is the option to add it to a guide. So if I click on that, I have the option to add it to any of my existing guides or to create a new one. So I'm going to create a new guide out of that. So this is my guide title, and my topic is probably just going to be car seats. And then I will create that. Once I've created that, I've given two options. So I can go to the guide that I've just created, or I can go back to this guide that I was on. I'm going to go back there, and sometimes these tips might not work for me, and I might need to know a little bit about cleaning my car seat. So here is another guide written by another expert that I would like to add to my car sick guide. So when I open her guide up, I'm given that same option to add it to the guide. Now this time when I click it, there is the new guide that I've already started. So we're going to add that. And I'm going to go back to this guide again. And down here in the related guides, there's another one written by another expert about safely cleaning your car seats. So we're going to add that to this guide also. So there's my guide, and we'll add that. Now I'm going to go to my new guide. So when I open this guide up, it automatically puts in this great cover photo for me, and there are the three guides that I've chosen to add. Once we go into edit mode, we're going to be given the option to add all of our content to this. So opening that up, I can now delete this cover photo and add one of my own if I'd like, and I can add all of my text. So the description in your guide is the first writing that people are going to read. So this is what comes first. This is where I would put in my story, what I want my readers to see. And then along with each of the guides that I've added, there is a text box. So anything you put in this text box is what's going to come directly above your guide in your own guide. So it'll come directly above this content. If you don't like the order that these have attached in, you can just grab those and move them around however you want. So now I have this one at the top. So anything I put in here, so this comes above the attached content. And I would talk about what's going on in this guide and what I want my readers to see. So this is, and now if I'd like to add anything else to my guide, I can do that here. I can add another guide. I can tag a member in. I can add a struggle, and there happens to be a related struggle on here. And I don't want my own content, I want everyone's content. So how do you deal with car sick kids would fit in perfectly. So I'm going to add that struggle onto my guide, and I'm going to add some content to go with that. Now your summary is what's going to come at the very end of your guide after all of the content that you have attached. So this is where you can sum up everything you've said, you can add in some other tricks, you can write down anything else that you'd like people to read. And then I'm going to save it as a draft just so I can see what I've done before I publish it. So now that we've saved that, you can see that this cover photo has stayed the same. I didn't choose to change that. And there is where my description was. These are the words that come first. And everything I've written attached to each of this content is written directly above it now in my guide, including the struggle that we've attached. Now, if I'm ready to publish that, I can go in here and I can edit that, and then down at the bottom, there will be the option to publish. For now, I'm going to save that as a draft so that you can see where it will show up on your profile. So now if I go to my own profile and I scroll down, you can see all of my published guides are here, and this one that's still in draft mode. As long as it's in draft mode, I can only see it. No one else can see that on the site. So when I'm ready to publish that, I can go in, I can edit it, and I can publish it, and it will be there for everyone else to see. And that's it. That is how you create a guide on parental guidance.